Every person on the planet is born in a certain country. It could be a poor Africa or a rich Europe. Some people are born in a rich country where millions of others dreams to get in. In this video we will talk about 10 ideal countries for life, whose inhabitants live in luxury without corruption in full democracy. Number 10. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is one of the leading countries in the world, which is located in the northwest of Europe. The UK is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. This small country has an exciting history and rich in cultural traditions. London is the capital of Great Britain and one of the largest cities in Europe, which is the world center of culture, music, education, fashion, politics, finance and trade. It is a bustling and vibrant metropolis that has an amazing concentration of magnificent sites and monuments of history. It is one of the main financial centers of the world and the leading global cities on a par with New York. The UK has a population of about 60 million. 8% of the country are migrants and mostly are from India, Pakistan and other former British colonies. Britain consists in fact of several countries united by the same crown, and each of them has its own culture, traditions and ancient history. Next we have the Kingdom of the Netherlands. It's a European state located in the western part of the European continent. Netherlands, a small state which is a constitutional monarchy and is a member of the European Union. The country is known for its rich cultural heritage, wine mills, tulips, and Europe's most beautiful atmosphere. The Netherlands is a modern, highly developed country. Unsurprisingly, the unemployment rate in the Netherlands is well below the Europeans' average of only 7%. In terms of income, Holland ranks 4th among European countries. In the country, the most popular transport is bicycle, which is why the country has very clean air. The UAE, United Arab Emirates. Until a few decades ago, the indigenous population of the United Arab Emirates lived extremely poorly, interrupted by the sale of fish and pearls. Everything changed when oil was discovered in the territory of two emirates and in considerable quantities. When oil was found in the country, the life of residents changed beyond recognition. Every year, the country is visited by 15 million tourists. Local residents, in material terms, do not need anything. They receive dividends from the sale of oil, work only when they want it, or do private businesses. Surprisingly, a barely born child receives a plot of land and $60,000 in cash. In addition, the child receives free education in any college or university. The hospital treatment of the citizens is taken over by the government. The country has the most influential passport in the world. That is, if you are a citizen of the country, you can visit up to 177 countries without visa. But to become a citizen of this country, it is impossible. Next, we have well-known USA, United States of America, one of the largest and most influential countries of the modern world. It is located in North America and it is the 4th largest country and the 3rd most populous country in the world. The United States of America is a diverse country that has made a significant contribution to world culture and science. The country is able to offer travelers almost everything that could you think of, from the wonders of the Grand Canyon and the Great Lakes to megacities like New York, Las Vegas and Miami. Administratively, the country is divided into 50 states and one federal district of Columbia. The United States has the world's largest transportation system. For example, the United States has the longest road network, as well as the largest number of airports in the world. The country is one of the centers of the world immigration. There are 50 million in the country, migrants, and this figure increases by 500,000 people each year. New York, the largest city in the country, is perhaps the most famous city in the world, home to financial institutions, numerous historical and cultural attractions, museums, shops, theaters, and more. It is a bustling and bright city of skyscrapers and freedom, which is familiar to many by the abundance of movies and photos. The US is an amazing country of its kind. If you want to start a new life, then the States is the perfect option for that. Singapore is a city-state in Southeast Asia, consisting of small islands which harmoniously intertwine the progress of the Western world and Asian culture. Today, it is one of the richest countries in the world, with a successful market economy characterized by good environment for business and no corruption. It should be noted that today 76.8% of the country's population are of Chinese nationality. The rest of the citizens are natives and natives of India, England, Japan, and others. It is a modern, clean, eco-friendly, and efficient city that is also home to friendly and hard-working people. Singapore's educational system is highly knowledge-based and highly valued beyond the state. Religiously, the vast majority profess Buddhism, ranked second in the world for ease of doing business. Therefore, large international companies invest their capital in this country. Australia is the only country in the world that occupies the territory of the entire continent, where there are some of the richest and most developed inhabitants of the planet, and the only continent where there are no active volcanoes. This is a country of happy, developed, and incredibly tolerant people. The capital of Australia is Canberra, an artificially created city. But Sydney is Australia's largest and oldest city, located in the southeast of the country, home to the country's most famous landmarks like the Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. Although Sydney is now home to more than 4 million people, its residents are friendlier and more hospitable than those in other big cities. The education system in Australia is at very high level, but the crime rate in the country is very low. Among developed countries, Australia stands out for accepting more migrants. Every year, people come to the country, up to 200,000 migrants. Australians themselves are very tolerant of migrants. The country has a high standard of living. An average salary there is $3,400. Next, we have Switzerland. Switzerland is a very small country located in Central Europe, the only confederation in the world. It ranks 13th in the world ranking of the most expensive countries in the world. However, its inhabitants, in comparison with other countries in Europe and especially Asia, receive huge salaries. The average salary in the country is $3,500. This is a country of banks and watches, cheese and chocolates, which has been neutral for many centuries. Switzerland is famous for its wonderful cultural heritage, stunning nature, and world-class ski resorts. Interestingly, 90% of the Swiss population considers themselves to be ethnic Swiss. But the country does not have a single language and almost 70% of the population speaks German. The country is one of the 10 richest countries in the world. Per capita income is $65,000. Switzerland has its own architecture. Here you will not find large and noisy megacities. In the main city of the country of Bern, there are no skyscrapers. It is a picturesque ancient city with a beautiful medieval historical center, which is included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Germany is third in Western Europe and occupies a relatively small area of more than 80 million people. To date, the Federal Republic is one of the most advanced economies in the world, and its domestic political system is a model of parliamentary democracy. Berlin is the capital and the largest metropolis of the country. The most famous symbol of the city is Brandenburg Gate, which was built in the late 18th century. Germany's economy is the largest in Europe and the fifth largest in the world. Most of Germany's exports come from electrical engineering, automotive, environmental technologies, pharmaceutical and chemical products. The inscription Made in Germany has become a sign of quality. Brands such as Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Siemens, and many others are known all over the world. Germany consists of 16 federal states and is a federal state with a parliamentary form of government. Before the unification into one state, the German regions in the distant past were separate units, each with its own culture, history, traditions, and customs. Germany is often compared to a mosaic, so its parts are not similar to each other, but together they form a surprisingly solid and harmonious picture. Norway is the second most developed and prosperous country in our ranking. This is a country of punctual and law-abiding people, which ranks high in the list of the happiest countries. The standard of living in Norway is recognized as one of the highest in the world. It has been ranked first in the Human Development Index for many years in a row. This country is developing at a tremendous pace. Residents of the country are part of the top 10 of the richest in the world and receive huge salaries. Norway's economy is strong, with the country's main income from oil sales, which is growing at a high rate and being the most prosperous country. The country does not spend oil revenues, but sends to the fund of future generations, and for 2019, the size of the fund was $871 billion. With a population of 5 million, it is just a huge amount of money. Although the country has high taxes, but they are used for the benefit of residents. The state invests a lot of money in education and medicine. The local water is incredibly clean and of excellent quality. Nature is one of the Norway's treasures. Mountains and fjords, lakes, waterfalls, and northern lights. Finally, Canada, the country whose name has been a symbol of hope for a better life for millions of people from all over the world, comes first as the best country to live in. French and British, Germans and Italians, Ukrainians and Poles, all this and many other nations over the centuries have built their country with their own hands, which today is considered one of the most attractive countries for immigration. Huge reserves of natural resources, a developed economy, and all this is complemented by an excellent education system and a large number of highly qualified specialists. Nevertheless, the country constantly needs new specialists. That is why Canada is happy to accept people who can benefit the country's economic development. Canada has long been recognized by the world community as one of the best suitable and comfortable places to live. In the south of Canada, there are industrial zones, and in the north, boundless forests, full flowing rivers, numerous lakes and mountains range. Since the second half of the 20th century, the ethnic composition of the country's population has been changing in the direction of increasing the proportion of people from the Middle East, China, India, Latin America, Eastern Europe, and other regions of the world. As a result, the country can find elements of cultures of almost any country in the world. Although Canada is one of the most populous countries, it is by all accounts ranked high in the list of the richest, least corrupt, and most livable countries. Salaries in Canada, when compared to those in other developed countries, are quite high. That is all, friends. Leave in the comments which country you like most and which countries are missing in the list. The best comment will be in my next video. Good luck and see you soon.